Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to explore one of the most shocking and talked about military developments of 2026, a breakthrough jointly driven by the United States and Israel that has caught the attention of NATO and global military analysts across the world. This is not a rumor, not science fiction, and not a distant future concept. What we are discussing today is a real, operational technological shift that is already influencing how modern wars may be fought, and more importantly, how they may be prevented. For many years, military power was measured by how fast your jets were, how stealthy your aircraft could be, and how powerful your missiles were. Nations invested trillions into advanced fighters, precision, guided weapons, and missile defense systems. But behind all this progress, there was a growing problem that analysts could no longer ignore. Defense was becoming more expensive than attack. Shooting down a cheap rocket or drone with an extremely costly interceptor was never a sustainable strategy, especially in an era where drones can be built quickly, cheaply, and launched in large numbers. By 2026, this imbalance reached a critical point, and that is where the U.S.-Israel military breakthrough enters the picture. After years of quiet development and testing, a high-energy laser defense system reached full operational status. Instead of relying on physical missiles, this system uses concentrated energy, fired at the speed of light, to destroy incoming threats in midair. Drones, rockets, mortars, and unmanned aerial vehicles can be detected, tracked, and neutralized within seconds, without explosions in the sky and without expensive ammunition being consumed. What makes this development truly historic is that direct energy weapons are no longer experimental. For decades, lasers were discussed as future technology, something that might work someday, but was not reliable enough for real combat. In 2026, that assumption ended. This system is deployed, integrated into national defense networks, and actively protecting airspace. That single fact alone has forced military planners around the world to rethink their assumptions. The partnership between the United States and Israel played a major role in making this possible. The United States provided extensive research support, funding, and advanced integration experience, while Israel contributed its unmatched expertise in layered air defense systems developed under constant real-world threat conditions. Together, they accelerated development far faster than most analysts expected. For the Pentagon, this breakthrough validates years of investment in lasers, artificial intelligence, and sensor fusion. For Israel, it dramatically strengthens defensive capabilities against asymmetric threats. Across NATO, the reaction has been a mix of surprise and urgency. Military planners understand exactly what this means. A defense system that costs only a few dollars per engagement completely disrupts the economics of modern warfare. Drone swarms, once considered a nightmare scenario due to their low cost and high volume, suddenly lose their advantage. Missile saturation attacks become far less effective when defenders are no longer limited by expensive interceptor inventories. Behind the laser itself lies an even more important transformation. Advanced radar systems, electro-optical sensors, artificial intelligence, and real-time data fusion work together to detect threats almost instantly. The system does not simply react, it predicts, prioritizes, and engages targets faster than any human operator could. This level of automation is what truly concerns global analysts, because it represents a future where defense systems operate at machine speed, compressing decision-making timelines to seconds. Another major shift caused by this breakthrough is the role of power and infrastructure in warfare. These systems rely on electricity, cooling, and data networks, making energy supply a frontline military asset. Protecting power generation and distribution becomes just as critical as defending air bases or command centers. Warfare is no longer only about firepower, it is about energy, data, and uninterrupted connectivity. Of course, no technology is perfect. Weather conditions such as heavy rain, fog, or dust can reduce effectiveness, and range limitations mean these systems work best as part of a layered defense network rather than as a standalone solution. But even with these limitations, their strategic value is undeniable. They absorb low-cost threats efficiently, allowing traditional missile systems to focus on high-value targets. Global military analysts have been unusually clear in their assessments. Many describe this moment as a turning point comparable to the introduction of radar or precision-guided weapons. The consensus is that direct energy weapons are no longer optional for advanced militaries. Nations that fail to adapt risk falling behind not gradually, but structurally. The impact extends beyond military strategy. Defense industries worldwide are shifting investments toward laser technology, AI-driven targeting systems, and integrated defense networks. Training doctrines are being updated. Procurement priorities are changing. Even diplomatic calculations are being adjusted as deterrence models evolve in a world where certain types of attacks are increasingly ineffective. Perhaps the most important impact is psychological. For years, offensive systems dominated military thinking. Hypersonic missiles, stealth platforms, and autonomous strike drones captured attention. In 2026, defense has reclaimed the spotlight. A system that can silently, repeatedly, and economically neutralize threats changes how aggression is calculated. When attacks are unlikely to succeed, escalation becomes less attractive. As analysts continue to study this breakthrough, one thing is clear. This is only the beginning. Power levels will increase, range will improve, and similar systems will appear on ships, vehicles, and possibly aircraft. What we are witnessing is the first step into a new era of warfare defined not by explosions, but by precision, automation, and energy. The year 2026 may not be remembered for a single battle, but it may be remembered as the year the rules of warfare quietly changed. A beam of light proved that the future had arrived sooner than expected, and the nations that recognized it early gained a decisive advantage. Thank you for watching today's video on WarFront Tech. If you found this analysis informative and insightful, don't forget to like the video, share it with others, and comment below with your thoughts.